How's it going, you guys? Links Forte here. Today I'm gonna combine my videos because there's a reason. You'll see it when the battle happens. Anyway, I'm gonna combine the two videos. One, because it's Sunday already when I had to do my battles, so it just made sense to combine the two instead of putting two videos out. And then the second reason, you'll see when the battle is happening. This is the team I'm going to be bringing. I'm going to put his team right here just throughout the entire thing. Not really going to go over it. Like, I had done the team builder prior to us battling. I think that video ended up being like 20 minutes long, and like it was in depth, and it was supposed to go up Saturday, but because we didn't battle until Sunday, I just decided, you know, I'll do a little mini team builder, try to remember why I brought stuff, and then just, you know, set that all up here. And let me make sure I have his team because of some of the EV spreads. For one, as you can see, the chestnut I'm bringing is Choice Scarf, Drain Punch, Seed Bomb, Stone Edge, Zen Headbutt, and Jolly. Originally, I wanted it to be Adamant, but the issue was, like, it didn't outspeed something. Hold on, let me make sure I have my notes here so I can tell you what it didn't outspeed. Is this the right team? Yes, this is the right team. Okay. So what it didn't Adamant Choice Scarf didn't outspeed Tornadus I. It didn't outspeed Espeon or Tornadus. So I had to make it Jolly, and then I messed with the EVs to make sure I still outsped both of them. So that's how I ended up with this EV spread. I wanted to run Adamant, like I said, couldn't because I needed to outspeed. But Zen Headbutt pretty much was for Venusaur, so Venusaur couldn't just switch in freely. Stone Edge was for the Tornadus and the Rotom Heat if need be. Seed Bomb, obvious stab, Drain Punch, Longevity, stab, pretty much, you know, easy to figure out there. But yeah, like Choice Scarf, it was like a really nice, it just seemed really beneficial to bring in this battle this week. So that's, you know, no real other reason. Like, Choice Scarf Chestnut just seemed real good for this battle. Next up, I'm going to bring Azelf here. Focus Sash with Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam. And then I put Levitate on there because I really couldn't think of a fourth move. So I was like, you know what? Why not Levitate? Or why not Nasty Plot? Just because, like, it could possibly provide a sweep. Jolly 220 speed, or Jolly 220 EVs, or Timid 220 EVs. Oh my goodness, yo. What that allowed me to do is basically outspeed everything on his team, barring a Choice Scarf. The 36 in HP was just the remainder. Didn't really know what to put it out. So I was like, you know, let's just add it into the bulk a little bit. Psyshock, Shadow Ball. Psyshock hit everything on his team except Hydreigon, but it did a lot of damage. Shadow Ball for the coverage on Espeon and Slowbro. And then Dazzling Gleam for Hydreigon, for Crocodile as well. So that was that. I just felt like if I could get a Nasty Plot up with my Focus Sash still intact, barring anything that's Choice Scarf, I could potentially set up a sweep. And like I really don't think anything wanted to take a +2 Psyshock at that point. So, or maybe Blissey. I really like Blissey was the only thing, but I felt like I could get damage off on Blissey and then be able to take it out with a Psyshock, +2 Psyshock. So next up is Chansey. There's never anything really special about the Chansey I'm bringing, except the fact that I'm bringing Fling. The reason for Fling was because I was really fearing, like I've already said, the battle already happened. So I was really fearing Trick Espeon. So I didn't want him to trick my actually trick Espeon and trick Rotom. So I really didn't want him to trick like a Choice Specs or a Choice Scarf onto me on a Chansey. So I was like, if it happened, I wanted to make sure I got rid of that item. But that was the only reason Fling was there. So that was that. Like I said, other than that, nothing really special about Chansey. There never is. Like, you just feed it into the bulk and you make it happen. Next up is Weavile. Like, I have this thing to where Weavile didn't come the last two battles and I lost, right? So bring Weavile this battle and let's see if we can get back in the winning column, because that's what needs to happen. I need to get back in the winning column this week just to make sure, you know, I keep pace with everyone. But knock off Poison Jab, Low Kick, Icicle Crash with the Life Orb, Poison Jab, 2-hit KOs, Tapu Fini. I think even after Leftovers recovery, well, the min roll was 50% if he was max HP, max defense. I think that was right. So I think it 2-hit KO'd Tapu Fini. But knockoff, obviously stab utility. Low kick was for Blissey and Mamoswine. And if Hydreigon wanted to switch into it, fine. Icicle Crash, obvious. Icicle Crash is obvious. Icicle Crash is obvious, right? The 150 in speed with a Jolly Nature still allowed me to outspeed everything. And then the 106 in Spadef, which kind of worked out really perfectly, right? So, like I said, I was fearing a Choice Scarf Espeon. And a Choice Scarf Espeon typically runs Dazzling Gleam. If he were choiced in any fashion outside of Choice Scarf, I would still outspeed him, right? So if he were Choice Specs, I could technically switch in to, like, if he wasn't Choice Specs, I could technically switch into a Dazzling Gleam. But if he were Choice Specs, it's the only way he O-code me. Life Orb, Espeon did not O-code me, so I could take a hit and not really worry about it. So it was something that was just on my mind. I wanted to make sure I could take a hit. I think I could take a hit from like a Choice Scarf Rotom Heat. I didn't calc it, so it's not something I really wanted to risk if I didn't have to. But like I said, Choice Scarf Espeon or Choice Espeon period was something I was fearing. Mostly Choice Specs with a trick. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure that I had the bulk to kind of live like maybe even a Life Orb. And that's what happened, or it didn't happen. That's not what happened, sorry. Spoiler alert, just so I can clarify it, just so you guys aren't trying to say, oh, I just spoiled something. He didn't bring Espeon. So, but that was my whole plan, is to have enough bulk to take a Dazzling Gleam from Espeon. Next up is Choice Specs, Rotom Wash, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Trick. 212 allowed me to outspeed Adamant Mamoswine, I think is what it was. It allowed me to outspeed Adamant Mamoswine. Is that right? Yeah, I think yeah, it allowed me to outspeed Adamant Mamoswine by 1 point. And then the bulk, the 44 in the bulk is, you know, just what it is. That's really it. Trick was there just in case I can catch Blissey or Mamoswine or something like on a switch in. It's just what it was. And last but not least is Komala, rocking a Choice Band this week. Rapid Spin, Sucker Punch, Return, U-Turn. Really, I just wanted to bring Komala, and I was like, I'm really not feeling Leftovers this week, so I was like, you know what? Let's put a Choice Band on it and hit something hard, right? Let's do that. That's really all I wanted to do. But that is the team I brought to the battle, and without further ado, because this video is going to be pretty long, let's jump into this battle. Alright, you guys, so here we are in this battle, and we had to do it on Showdown. Like, we started the battle on Wi-Fi, right? I want to say we got maybe 10 turns in, and then all of a sudden disconnect happened. We were both still online, so it was kind of weird as to why it disconnected. So then we tried to reconnect, and before we could even get to team selection, it disconnected again. And the thing was, like, normally I live comm, but I wasn't able to live comm this week because I was working on something in the background, so I didn't want that slowing down my computer, so I couldn't even record it. So there were, I think it was 10 turns. It might have been a little bit more than 10 turns, I'm not sure, but we couldn't remember plays that happened. Like, we remember some stuff, but there were some misses that happened, and you can't recreate a miss unless you're just like waiting for that to happen. But when something like that happens, it's just like, you know what, either start a new game or go on the Showdown and start a new game or something like that. And it was just like, you know what, let's just jump on Showdown, because of the second disconnect that happened before we could even get the team selection. We just said, hey, let's just do it on Showdown, and it made it easier for us to just do this and then jump into a brand new game. So, but the thing was, like, we knew a couple of each other, we knew a couple of the sets. Like, in that first battle, I had already seen Mamoswine, Blissey, Slowbro, and Venusaur, so I knew what they were. And he had seen Azelf, Chansey, Komala. I think he had seen everything except Chestnut. So we pretty much knew each other's teams. it was just whatever. But I don't really think anybody. I don't think anybody didn't benefit from just. I really don't know how to say this, but I think we both benefited from just jumping on the showdown and doing it. Like I was leading in that original battle, but I don't think there was any harm to jump the showdown. But I already did my team builder in the first part of this video, so I'm just gonna jump into that. I just needed to explain why this is on showdown. So we're just gonna jump into the battle. Like I said, I knew what his team was originally, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna lead off with Rotom. I just decided to throw off a Hydro Pump. I'm pretty sure he knew I was choice originally, but this is going a little bit faster than I wanted to. Let me slow that down. So with the first play, I started with Rotom and just said, you know what, I don't really have a reason to Hydro Pump. Like even in the Wi-Fi battle, his switch in was Venusaur. It could have been Mamoswine, but I just didn't want to. I don't have a reason to just throw off a Volt Switch, and because I'm Specs, I still do about 35-ish%. Based on what I thought I knew what his Venusaur set was. So I just threw off a Hydro Pump. Obviously he switched out of Rotom Heat into Venusaur, and then I missed. I have to switch obviously, so I switch into Chestnut as he pulls a double into Mamoswine, and then I had a kind of a decision here to make. I calced this, and his Mamoswine was Choice Scarf. I knew that because of what happened in the Wi-Fi battle. The problem was I was like this Chestnut is not defensive. This is a Choice Scarf Chestnut, as you guys will recall. So I had a decision to make. Do I go for Seed Bomb, or do I go for Drain Punch, or do I switch out? I calced it. Icicle Crash does 99.3% to me. So I would live on 1%. Yeah, that's adamant, by the way. That's a max of 99.3%. So I would live on 1% and get a Seed Bomb off, and I would kill him. So it was kind of like, do I really want to make that call? I wasn't sure. In the long run, I made the call. I stayed in, and he just went back into Venusaur. So he's going to take 13% from the Seed Bomb, which, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to switch out into Komala here to take the Sludge Bomb. It does a little bit more than I want it to, obviously, as he's going to switch out and go into Slowbro. And I'm just going to click U-turn here because I kind of need to. Now, there was one beneficial thing about me going into Wi-Fi. Like I said, I was leading in the Wi-Fi battles. There's one beneficial thing about it coming over to PS was with my Komala's return. I forgot in the Wi-Fi, after Rogue Gen my team, I forgot to max the happiness. So in the Wi-Fi battle, return should do like 30-something% to Slowbro, but it did like 5% because I forgot to max the happiness. So that happened. So anyway, knowing I could live another Sludge Bomb, I decided to click U-turn and try to get a matchup to bring in Slowbro, or to bring in Chestnut, but he switches out and brings in Slowbro. So I just said, you know what, Weavile can click knockoff and either kill this thing or knock something's item off, which, you know, I didn't really see a downside to it. As he switches in his Tapu Fini, as I knock off the leftovers, do 23% to it. Obviously don't want to stay in, as I'm just going to switch out into Chansey because it's an easy switch in for me. As he's going to go, or he's going to go for the Nature's Madness, which is an issue for me. I just decided to get my rocks up as he switches out into Mamoswine. Knowing I can take a knockoff, I just stay in, and I'm just going to click Soft Boil. Mamoswine, because it was Choice Scarf and not like Life Orb or Choice Band or anything, Chansey could really stay in and take some hits. He would have to like rely on some Icicle Crash flinches. So I get off a couple of Seismic Tosses on that Mamoswine as he goes into Blissey, and I just, you know, soft boiled up, get back to full. He showed Toxic before, so I really don't want to keep Chansey in and let it be whittled down. Even though it has natural cure, I don't want it to be whittled down. So I go into Komala here, as I'm just gonna click return. This almost kills. It almost kills. I don't even know if that's a roll or not, but it didn't kill. So, but I do realize it is a 2-hit KO. So I just decided to stay in and click return a couple times, as nothing he could do could really kill me. So I click return. I have no reason not to, just to keep clicking return. I'm Choice Bandit, so it's gonna 2-hit KO a lot of Pokemon as he brings in the Slowbro, and it's 2-hit KO'd. Now I have a decision here to make. As you see, I go into Chansey. I considered sacking off Komala, but it wouldn't have been really smart of me because it's on this team, it's the only priority I have, and just in case I needed it for Mamoswine later down the road, because it's going to be kind of difficult for me to kill this Mamoswine, as that is basically his win con, because it has knockoff, Earthquake, Icicle Crash. I don't think I ever saw the 4th move, but that is a spoilers for you guys since I just revealed 3 of the 4 moves. But I remember Chansey can take any hit from this thing, so I just go into Chansey as he Earthquakes, and I'm just like, okay, that's not good. That is not good, because he just did 54% to me. I was not expecting that, so I gotta make a play. Luckily, I have 2 levitators and I have a resistance, so I'm just gonna go out into one of those resistances. Luckily, he makes a bad read. I guess he was expecting me to, because obviously, you know, the play would be going to Rotom because of the levitate, but luckily I have a second levitator, which is Azelf, that I can go into. The reason why I chose to go into Azelf is because I have Focus Sash Nasty Plot, and I can set up a Nasty Plot on that Mamoswine because it's going to be forced to switch out. I wasn't expecting him to switch out into Venusaur, but it still worked out because this is going to force him to switch out. I can get up a Nasty Plot here, and then I'm just free to click Psyshock. This is going to do, I think it did about 70, it did 71%. Okay. I thought it did 70 something percent, but yeah, it did 71%. And honestly, I don't have a reason not to just click Psyshock again. So this is going to take out the Blissey, which is a huge issue gone because that Blissey had Wish. And I was, even in the Wi-Fi battle, it happened once or twice. I was always fearful of him clicking Wish and going into Mamoswine. So I was kind of playing around that, and it was hurting. Like I said, the battle helped me because I knew what his sets were. It helped me to just go into PS and start a new battle. Like I told him, like, I don't mind recreating it, but the thing was, neither one of us could remember all the plays that we made, and like he pointed out, there were some misses, so I was fine with just going new battle. So yeah, he goes into Mamoswine, and I'm just like, I don't want to take a knockoff, so I'm just gonna go into Chansey. Even if he had clicked Earthquake predicting Chansey to come in, I was fine with it. I knew I could take 2 knockoffs because after a couple of damage rolls, I realized, like, okay, he did 20%. He had to be Jolly because I think Adamant did a minimum of 23%. So I was fine with it. And this was another thing. So in the Wi-Fi battle, I was trying to predict the Mamoswine to come in, so I clicked Trick, and he brought in a Venusaur. So I knew this Venusaur was Z-move, either that or it didn't have an item. No, even if it had an item, I would have tricked it. If it didn't have an item, I would have tricked it. So I knew he was Z-move. So I was fine with just, you know, bringing in Chansey, clicking Seismic Toss a couple times as he goes for the Sunny Day. So my worst fear was Z Sunny Day, which he didn't go for, so I don't know if he didn't have it or whatever the reason was. But honestly, the only thing that would stop me from going into Chestnut right now is an HP Fire. But because I have a Chansey in, the obvious play is to go for Giga Drain, which is what he did. So I just switch in Chestnut here, and this is a funny play. So Venusaur Modest hits at level 50. Venusaur Modest, no speed investment, is 100 speed, right? My Chestnut has 121 speed. With the Choice Scarf, it's 180 something. I think it's like 182 or 183. I don't remember. It's 180 something. So a Modest Chlorophyll Venusaur should hit 200, which means I shouldn't outspeed it. I just chalked it up to maybe like the wrong ability. So that's the only thing I could think of. Like I thought it was gonna be Chlorophyll, it wasn't, so I don't know. I didn't ask him about it, but it is what it is. I click Zen Headbutt and take out the Venusaur, and he's gonna bring in the Rotom here, and I'm just like, I'm not too fond of taking an overheat, so I'm just gonna switch in Chansey. Not sure how much it's gonna do, which Chansey has to eats that up. So because of the -2 now, I'm able to just go for a Soft Boiled on his Volt Switch, and he's gonna go into Mamoswine, and I'm thinking, I'm good as long as I get above 55. I can take an Earthquake or two. I can take an Earthquake and keep Soft Boiling up. As he goes for the Icicle Crash and gets a crit, and I'm just thinking, please don't flinch, and I didn't flinch. So I looked at the damage. It did 61 with the crit. I knew I could live barring another crit. So I just soft boiled up a couple times until I'm at a comfortable amount of health. And he unfortunately misses the icicle crash there. And Chansey here can get up to full health. And I'm thinking, okay, let me get a quick seismic toss off just in case, you know, Rotom isn't the one that's going to be taking this thing out. And now I decide, you know, I'm just going to go into Rotom as he goes for another icicle crash. And honestly, Rotom is just free to click Hydro Pump on anything. Had he gone into Tapu Fini, I didn't know what the spread was, but I knew once he went into Rotom, I knew it was a sack. And then here I had to calc just to make sure Hydro Pump actually killed, and it did. So Rotom picks up those 2 kills back to back, and then he's going to bring in Mamoswine. I think it came down to whether or not he would flinch me with the Icicle Crash, but it wasn't doing a lot, so he just went for the knockoff, and it was a GG there. Rotom picks up 3 kills to win the battle. And we get back into this playoff race. Oh my goodness, yo. We dropped 2 games. We lost 3-0 to Ashton, then we lost 4-0 to Rogue. So to pick up this 6-0 win, like it gave me my confidence back and to just get back in this playoff race, basically. So what? This is 7 games in. We have 5 games left. 3 of those games being divisional games. Next week we go up against Mega Lugia. I can't think of his team name right off the top of my head. I think it's the FC Bayern Munchlax or something like that. It's something like that. The Bayern Munchlax. So we go up against him, and he has an interesting thing that I need to go prep for. But let me show you guys the doc real quick, just so you guys can see what the playoff race is looking like. All right, so here is the standings right now. They're not updated, and then some battles are still missing because of the new coaches that came in. So a couple battles need to be made up, and like this was a really weird week for a lot of people. Like Ashton, he got a new computer in, so I don't think it's fully set up yet. So I don't think he was able to battle Tone yet. Tone still needs to make up his battle with he still needs to make up his battle with Keegan. So there's a couple battles that still need to be made up. So, but this is where we're sitting currently, 5-2, 71% win percent, or 71 win percentage. This actually needs to be fixed. I'm 2-1 in the division, so that needs to be fixed. I'll fix that later. But here's our division here. I'm not sure when Turbo is supposed to play. Like, who's he playing this week? I can't remember who he's playing. I feel like he's playing Nick, Reckless Bat. Yeah, I think he's playing Nick, Reckless Bat. Okay. So I'm not sure when that game is going to happen, but this puts me basically back in the race. I'm only 1 point differential behind Rob. So we're doing pretty good here. Whatever. So you guys can see that there. Let me go over to my page. And here is my records, basically 4 3-0s in a row. Then we lost 3-0, lost 4-0, and then we picked up a 6-0 win. Just so you guys know, I'm actually making a trade here. Miss Magius is going to leave the team, and we're going to pick up Jellicent. I just haven't updated that, but I have made that transaction already. So that will be in effect for my battle against Mega Lugia. So anyway, that was this week's battle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Keegan's channel. Go subscribe to him. He's in like a lot of leagues, and he's a really good battler as well. So definitely go check him out. And this is Link's Forte. I'm out. Peace.